It's that time of year, everybody, when the children are caroling, the bells are ringing, and if you happen to live in the proper geographical location and the weather permits, it may also be snowing. That's right, it's Christmas time. Now, because this channel is dedicated to gaming, I figured I would put out a video showing off the game that I always try to go back to around Christmas time. It just gives me the holiday spirit, even though it's objectively not amazing or great, it still just makes me feel warm and gooey inside. What Christmassy game am I referring to? Well, of course, none other than the one, the only, Ride to Hell Retribution. This game just makes me feel ooey and gooey inside in all the best ways. It's tremendously well written, the graphics are stunning, the gameplay is super fun. As you can tell, I just have a I'm kidding, we're not gonna do that. I did get Ride to Hell Retribution. It's so much worse than I ever expected. All joking aside, if you'd like me to do an I tried thing where I go back and play Ride to Hell Retribution, let me know. I'll be down to try it. I just tried to boot it up for this little demonstration, and now my entire gaming PC and screen is completely black and I can't get it to start. So I'm sure if I made a video on it, there would be plenty of stuff to talk about. The game we're actually talking about is Batman Arkham Origins. This was, of course, a game put out by the same team that recently did Gotham Knights. It was sort of a spin-off from the core Batman Arkham series put together by Rocksteady, and it was created because the team over at Rocksteady knew that they would need more time than just a couple years between Batman Arkham City and the next game, Batman Arkham Knight, which ended up taking about 4 to 5 years to complete. So the head brass over at Warner Brothers looked at this team and said, you know what, you guys can make another Batman game with the rights that Rocksteady has been using, but it needs to follow in line with Rocksteady. You can mess around with it a little, but it should feel like another Rocksteady game within the same family, basically. And what we got was definitely the most polarizing game in the franchise. People either love this game or think that it's hot garbage and refuse to acknowledge it as part of the family of Arkham games. And I land somewhere in the middle, but I'm going to show you the game and we're gonna go back revisiting it to see what it's like, looking at it with fresh eyes. As always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button. It actually does help. I know YouTubers say it all the time, but it actually does make a difference. And subscribing also goes a long way because you'll get notified of all the new videos and reviews and things that go up on this channel the moment that they do. Also, just your daily reminder that I'm on all of these platforms here if you want to follow me. That's right, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. We also have a second YouTube channel, Luke Stevens Live, where I live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, playing games, looking at gaming news, all sorts of fun stuff. So join us over there if you would like to. All of these links are in the link tree in the description box below where it says all my links. Click on that, they're all listed there for you. And if you're looking for a way to financially support the channel and everything that I do here, we just launched some new merch items, some with the Luke Stevens branding, some with the 16 times the detail. You might have seen me drinking out of this mug in a few recent videos. 16 times the coffee can fit in this, it's great.
Legal disclaimer, this mug cannot hold 16 times the amount of coffee. Luke was making a joke based off of the design of the cup that says 16 times the detail on it in reference to Todd Howard's iconic quote. Luke Stevens is not personally responsible for any mistakes that are made when someone tries to put 16 times the amount of liquid available within the cup inside of the cup. All injuries and legal bills must be paid by the purchaser of said mug. As for the claims that the mug will make your penis 16 times larger, this is unfounded by science but not disproven, so it is still a possibility. And if you are a woman drinking out of the mug, it too shall make your penis grow.
In addition to the Just Wow tee, and all of the fabric we use for all of these is ridiculously soft. We really focused on quality above profit and margin and everything. So if you'd like to support the stream, the YouTube channel, everything else I do, this is a great way to do it. Plus you get something in return. We ship worldwide and we try to keep prices as affordable as possible worldwide. So if you're interested, check it out. Again, links in that description box below the like button below. Everything's below. But okay, let's actually go into Batman Arkham Origins and see what we're playing with. All right, we're gonna go story, new game, difficulty. I'm gonna put it on hard. I don't blame anybody if they don't want to play on hard, but I do think that the combat systems in these games works really well on the harder difficulties. I don't find the combat that difficult, but it's whatever. And immediately we're kicked into the game. One of the most immediate things you'll notice about Batman Arkham Origins above Batman Arkham Knight, for example, is that all of the cutscenes are pre-rendered. They're probably in engine, I'm sure, but they're all pre-rendered, which at the time made them look way better. But nowadays it just feels a little jarring because all of these pre-rendered cutscenes are compressed videos. And so you end up with weird artifacting because at the time this came out, 1080p was the full HD. That was the max quality that they could put out. And like, it looked fine at the time, but nowadays on bigger displays, high resolution displays, high refresh rate displays, it just doesn't look very good in comparison. But you know, it's not a big deal. And boom, just like that, we are in the game. One of the most immediate things you'll also notice is that graphically, it's not a bad looking game, but it certainly has a different tone than even Batman Arkham City or Batman Arkham Knight. They do have support for a bunch of cool NVIDIA features, which was something that was really cool in Batman Arkham City, for example, like this smoke effect. I can just dive through it or walk through it, and the smoke realistically reacts to that movement. It's super cool, and unfortunately, we don't really see features and things like this in games nowadays. I don't know what happened with these NVIDIA tool sets, but it just seems like everything's about trying to ray trace, even though it cuts your frame rate in half. I prefer stuff like this. I think it's cooler. But nowadays, when you crank all these settings, you can really see that they pushed the limits of what this game could do back at the time. Back at the time, you needed a supercomputer to run on the settings we're currently running on, but on modern hardware, it's just not a big deal at all.
Please.
No.
Whack.
Whack.
I'll kill you, all right. But by the time I do, that eye won't be the only thing you're missing.
What is that?
That sounds gross.
Behind you.
Oh, come on. Expect me to fall for that? I mean, try something original. Yeah. Back off.
And parry, whack. And snap.
No, stay away.
I'm helping you. Now you can immediately feel the inspiration, or I guess direct echoing, maybe, I don't know how you want to say it, of the Rocksteady games. And I honestly think that that's a good way to do it. This game was pumped out pretty quickly, and so I'm willing to forgive the quick turnaround and the fact that there's not a lot here that's super original. The combat system is pretty much in line with what you've gotten used to within Rocksteady games and the other Batman games, so it's not gonna feel too new. The combos can be thrown, you can stun people. You know, it's par for the course. Little twisty twist, snap, okay. You know, we don't kill people as Batman, but we can like totally break their bones and cause them severe mental anguish. That's fine. Oh, it's big boy.
Someone ought to check the good police commissioner's pockets, because they are lined with my money. And what have I got to show for it, huh? My own men in the slammer? Nah, not no more. No, tonight, we're making some changes. Some big changes.
It's not gonna end well. I can already tell. It's coming back to me. Once you get the hang of this free flow combat system, it just kind of turns into a dance where you jump around the arena after spreading everybody out. And, you know, it becomes a little repetitious, but it's not a big deal. See, like that. It wasn't that difficult, but it's whatever. But it is Christmas Eve. That's the first indication that this is actually a Christmas game. Even though we're dealing with like a ton of death and destruction right off the bat, this is actually supposed to ignite a spirit of Thanksgiving and love and familial, jovial expression in you. And so it might seem dire right now, but it's not actually supposed to be that. Yes, they're shoving it in a chamber that's meant for like executions, but don't ignore that. It's fine. Ho, ho, the mistletoe. Whack, whack, whack. Twist his arm a little. Whack again. Whack again. Pound stomp, whack, boom. Love it. Okay, we're about to go out. See, the quick swap to pre-rendered cutscenes is just a little jarring nowadays. They just don't like age super well, you know, at least in my opinion. I prefer it to be in engine. Even if it doesn't look as good, I prefer in engine. Personal preference. Uh-oh. He smells something. And it's me.
I know I caught yours.
And we're in a boss fight. There we go. See, I just don't like those transitions. Personal preference, that's just me. So you see the snow deformation thing is here. That was like pretty cutting edge at the time. So that was pretty cool. I'm just beating the crap out of him. One of the things I think you'll also notice about just the graphical style and the art design of this game is that everything is a little bit flatter. It's lit much more evenly. The shadows aren't as dark. Everything is kind of silky smooth. It doesn't feel like there's anything quite as like gritty and dirty as in Batman Arkham City, for example. I've almost got him. Oh God. Oh God, the stun locking is real. It's like a little sticky. It's not as responsive as I remember it being, but that might just be me. I don't know. It's like, it looks way cooler in the cutscenes. Like, I feel like the cutscenes actually reflect the art design that I'd be down with, but the game by itself just doesn't ever reach this level of stylized. And it's a little frustrating because instead it just feels very washed out and flat in comparison. I don't know if that was like a conscious choice on the development team's part, or if it's just a way that they like lit the game or something. I'm not sure, but what I do know is that the game feels way flatter compared to Batman Arkham City, and even compared to these cutscenes that they're showing in the game. I'm taking you in? I don't think so. See, like, that's pretty badass. This is a prequel, of course, to the Rocksteady games. It's showing Batman when he's just getting going. Nobody really knows who he is. They think he's still kind of like a myth, that Batman isn't real. Maybe it's just urban legend, but it's cool. I like the setting. So this is one of the more interesting things that they added to the game, which was a more fleshed out like detective mode where you can create crime scenes, evaluate them with a lot more clarity and precision. It's a really interesting idea, and it's a good change from what was established in Batman Arkham City with like basic ideas like you can track like bullet trajectory and things. With this, you can track the whole crime scene down to the individual movements of the players. It's actually relatively cool, and this is something that Rocksteady would go on to implement in Batman Arkham Knight, of course, and they also heavily implemented it into the VR game, Batman Arkham VR, I think is what it was called. If you're interested, I actually played Batman Arkham VR and I did a little mini critique video review of it. If you're interested, I'll have it linked in the description box below. But okay, with that done, we're gonna climb up the ladder and merge into Gotham. No, not quite yet. Almost. Quick little decode. Oh, it's Enigma, our favorite. You know, it's kind of interesting hearing Batman talk to each of the villains. You know, he's not been introduced to these people before. He's really weirded out when he sees Croc and is like, what the hell is that thing? Why is that even, how did that happen? It's really interesting kind of flip and reversal of what we've come to see in a lot of these Batman type of games, where it's just more of the same. It's Batman fighting the bad guys he's been fighting forever. You know, I wouldn't say this is a full-blown like prequel to Batman. It's just like the beginnings of Batman. So you don't have to deal with any of the trouble of like him going and buying the equipment and going and training with Ra's al Ghul. Nothing like that. Like in Batman Begins, or I think that's what it was called. Yeah, Batman Begins 2005. I just had to Google it to make sure. Okay, then we go through here and we will emerge into Gotham. Hopefully, maybe. I mean, I might be wrong again, but I think this is it. Yep, boom! We are here. Nice big reveal set piece.
Running out of time.
It's nice. Now, because of course this game is set on Christmas Eve, everything is themed around Christmas. So you have tons of decorations up. You've got, of course, the snow. All of the characters are constantly talking about Christmas, and all the decorations throughout Gotham just make it feel nice and holiday-y. This is one of those moments where like people say, oh, Luke, I like your videos because like you're relatively well spoken and you can put into clear words your thoughts on games and everything. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, have you watched one of my videos? I like stumble over my words all the time. Now, I still insist I would love to eventually get a Batman game where we can explore all of Gotham, not just like Gotham City, which is a few city blocks, not just like this small selection of Gotham, not like in Batman Arkham Knight where there's a few kind of islands that we can visit, or Gotham Nights where we can go and explore a few areas of the map and things. I want to be able to explore all of this. Everything that you see over there, I want to explore Gotham this size as Batman. That's all I want. Like, come on, please, gimme. But what we do have access to here is pretty, and it does hit the theming of Arkham, I think, a lot better than other recent games, like, even Gotham Knights, I don't think did a great job of theming around Gotham. It just felt like a regular city that you'd see in a video game with some neon signs. And that's about it. Gotham requires a little bit more finesse in the architecture, and I feel like they did a better job of pulling it off here. Though I will say I think most of that is because they straight up copy and pasted a ton of assets from Batman Arkham City, which is part of the reason they were able to get this game out so quickly. But you'll notice even big set pieces that were pretty important in Batman Arkham City here just fall pretty flat. Like there's the Ace Chemical building. Like, look how underwhelming that is in comparison to how it appeared in Arkham City. I don't know if I'm just like a spoiled brat at this point, but I feel like this set piece and the courthouse in the distance all were far more interesting in Arkham City visually than they are here. Here they just fall kind of flat. I'm not entirely sure why. I think it probably has to do with the general art direction, maybe the way that it's framed with the rest of the architecture around it. This building doesn't really feel that special other than just having a big glowing sign on it. Whereas in Arkham City, this was one of the tallest buildings in the area. Whereas right now, when you're looking at it, it's dwarfed by this building right here. So immediately it falls flat, stuff like that. Let's go over here and see what we're gonna find. There's an arms dealer we gotta talk to. Let's see what the deal is. What's happening? What do be happening? First one here. Oops. Classic. Batman arriving early. Now we fight this squad real quick. No biggie. We're Batman. I can do anything. Save the jerk in the Christmas hat for last and then beat the crap out of him. Oh no, I just... that was a little underwhelming.
Where's the Penguin?
This is pretty badass. I'll give it to him.
I don't know.
Where is he?
I swear.
Damn. Wake up.
What happened?
Time to talk. Where's Cobblepot?
Let me go!
If you insist.
You see what I mean tonally? Like, this hits such a different tone than Gotham Knights would go on to do from this same team. This feels like they're trying to hit a more mature tone. It feels like they're trying to do something a little bit more gritty and in line with the New 52 series of comic books. This is what I wanted Gotham Knights to feel like, and it's why I was relatively and reservedly optimistic about that game. I don't know what it is about modern attempts at reinventions of franchises that just reinvent the wheel. Like, if the audience is down for something gritty, give them something gritty. There's no need to try to flip it and create, Saints Row 2.0 where everything is just about college students trying to pay off their student loans and constantly talking about like trending political issues on Twitter. Like, nobody needs that. If it's already clear what the audience is looking for, the safest bet is probably to give them that. And with the Batman series, that was pretty clear. Like, this is what people were looking for. And especially in line with the Rocksteady games, the team over at Warner Brothers Montreal knew that that's what players wanted. So they tried to give them more of that. And while it's certainly not as good as Batman Arkham City or Batman Arkham Knight in my mind, I still think that this is worth playing. And especially around Christmas, it just hits different, especially as you go through the game and you start to fight different villains all in arenas and areas which are themed around Christmas because it's Christmas Eve. It just is a good time. Like, look, a giant Santa Claus. Who wouldn't want that? You got the elves over there trying to give each other presents. One's falling off the cliff. It's fun. Now, let me be clear. I love it when studios take a chance or a risk and do something different, because especially nowadays, you've got to stand out against the competition and do something a little original, something different that people didn't see coming. The problem is when you try to differentiate yourself by just being in line with all of the other games that are trying to differentiate themselves, you don't end up actually being differentiated. It's like, the goth kid who's like, I won't conform, but ends up looking like every other goth kid on the planet. That's basically what all of these reinventions are like. Like, it really does feel like every game that gets a reinvention nowadays just ends up looking like a reskinned version of Fortnite, where everybody's trying to appeal to the youngest crowd possible. So they're constantly talking about Roblox and the latest happenings on Twitter. Like, it's just not interesting, especially like, Saints Row, where people are casually talking about their student loans. Like, I play video games to not think about my student loans, please and thank you. If you're gonna force me to listen to more stuff about them in the game, I just won't play your game. But you know what? I don't want to spoil too much of Batman Arkham Origins for you if you've never played it. It's a fantastic Christmas game. It gives you a little romp in the Batman hay that's around 10 to 13 hours, depending on how you play. If you're a completionist, you can probably squeeze like 20 hours out of it. And it's regularly on sale on all major platforms. So if you're interested, definitely check it out. I do recommend it. As for me, I'm gonna go upstairs. We're going to bake some cookies. I'm gonna build a gingerbread house and get the Christmas spirit on. Isn't it? You know how I do be doing? I'm trying to talk like a Twitch streamer so that I'm more popular, because I've heard that helps. So no cap, finna bussin', dead ass. Thank you for watching. Is that right? It was at this moment he realized he effed up. Everybody unsubscribed because he was trying to talk like Nick Merckx and Tim the Tatman. Okay, that's gonna do it for me. Thanks for watching. Check it out. Subscribe, like the video, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill. I love you all. See you in the next one. Hugs and kisses. Bye-bye.